On this week's GTA 6 O'Clock, we celebrate 100 episodes, speak to special guests, and deep dive into everything we know about GTA 6 so far. It's all here on this special live edition of GTA 6 O'Clock. Hello and welcome to episode 100 of GTA 6 O'Clock, the world's most in-depth and best connected GTA 6 show. And welcome to our first live episode of GTA 6 O'Clock. I'm your host, James JJ Jarvis, and this is Dan DD Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Good evening and welcome to Fox Sport News. Sorry, James, this is not our usual setup, is it? But it's quite quite magnificent.
Already lifting the curtain.
It's
always like this every single week. And look, internet is our faces. Maybe now listeners and viewers can tell us apart.
The voices are the same, but don't pass any comment if the faces are the same. Just keep it to yourselves. Thank you.
Well, shall we kick it right off? Lots to talk about this week, incredibly. We've got the special guests that we mentioned just at the top of the show from the Rockstar community. We've got like Rockstar Intel, TGG, SAV, Vinewood Public Access and GTA Base, all of which will be coming up on the show shortly. You can ask not you, but these people, you can also ask us a question live on air. Imagine that. That won't go wrong at all. Use the link pinned in the YouTube chat and you'll meet producer Nathan, who some of you might have already heard. Long-time listeners of the show will know producer Nathan. He will talk you through the process. It will probably be fun. You might end up on the show in this episode. But first of all, Dan, before we get into all that, we should start with the hot news of the week, that there's been a new piece of GTA 6 footage come out.
Yes, there has, James. Would you like to detail what it revealed to us?
Well, I will detail it because we can't actually show it to you because it is currently being nuked from all corners of the internet.
Yeah.
Some of you might have seen it. Some of you might not have done. It was posted by a former Rockstar developer in their animation show reel to show off things that they've done in the past. It has been in that show reel for a few months before people discovered it. So it's not actually technically new. It's just that we've only just seen it now. As I said, being hastily deleted everywhere. It depicts a guy in a very developer environment getting to what looks like a bike rental thing. What do you call those bike rental things? Station? Should I call it a station?
Yeah, like a sort of docking station for those sort of city bikes.
A bike docking station.
Yeah.
He lifts it out of there and then gets on it and starts to push it away. Then there's a second clip, which is a female character who some people are saying it's a stand-in for Lucia jumping off like a pickup truck. It essentially shows nothing. And those bike stations have been in the screenshots since Trailer 2, and we got the screenshot dump. It is in one of the Vice City screenshots. So the fact that there are bicycles in the game isn't new, but maybe the fact that they're rentable or appear to be rentable could be considered a new piece of information.
It's a very thin slice, I grant you, but it is new information. Just for the purposes, to avoid any doubt, we do believe this is real, don't we?
Yes. This is, I think, pretty... The fact that it's being taken down so quickly from everywhere gives you a good indication, and that it's from a former Rockstar animator's show reel from a few months ago, and that it contains material that is already in the screenshots. And some of the on-screen text also looks a lot like the on-screen text that you got in the 2022 leaks. So all of that together, I would say, yes.
Yeah, no, that was my gut feeling. It has the air of truthiness. We obviously live in a difficult age for identifying what's true and what isn't, as I'm sure we'll talk about in different things later in the show. But to me, like you say, informationally, quite low on detail, though I know you've got some stuff to share about it. But I actually thought it was quite reassuring, the quality of the animation, and that could be really out-of-date stuff, right? But I felt like it was sufficiently wonky and human to give me some hope for the way the game will be. Even the way she, and I'm remembering because we can't watch it anymore, the way she docked the bike in, or the way the bike was docked in, had an air of trying to wedge it in, which felt quite good.
There was a lot of subtle animations going on within that, just putting it in the dock. You can see them almost tapping the brakes as it goes in. If you really look at all the things, there's quite a lot of good details in there that I think you could pick apart. The one main thing, of course, is that it says LOM bike on the frame, which could be a placeholder, could also be a representation of Lime bikes, which I think are a worldwide thing, but I'm not sure. I don't know what you get in America. You definitely get, it's just a whole load of different bike rental companies that we have over here. Now, obviously, LOM Bank is GTA canon. That banking establishment has been seen in GTA 4 and GTA 5. So much like in London, we have Santander bikes, which is city bikes, but sponsored by the bank. It feels like this could be a bank-sponsored bike rental scheme.
Yes. So this is not quite like the reveal of a third playable character, but...
Not yet.
But it is legit. And given, we've had so little for so long, I think this is quite a nice thing.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, there's quite a lot of nice animations in there, which is a brilliant way to introduce our first interview, because in this interview, hopefully, we're going to get to speak to Sav, who has been doing a lot of investigative work around like the patents or patents and things. So what I'm going to do is go and get him on the phone. So you queue that up. I'll go and speak to him, and then we'll come back in a minute. So I'll see you in Boo in a minute.
Okay, well, JJ is heading off to talk to Sav, leaving me holding the fort. So please look forward to our first interview of the show.
Right now I'm joined by Sav. Thank you very much, Sav, for giving us your time and being part of episode 100 of GTA 6 O'Clock. Welcome to the show.
Awesome, man. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
One of the standout videos on your channel is a really deep dive into everything you need to know about GTA 6, the patents or patents, depending on where you come from, which we believe are related to GTA 6. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you think are the most important ones that we have seen.
There's so many to choose from, and the ones that I find the most interesting was the NPC locomotion, and then also the NPC variation, which is also kind of tied in with what everybody's discussing is AI generated interiors. It has a tagging system that applies to NPCs. So you're going to get really varied NPCs, and then with the NPC locomotion system giving you really natural dynamic movement of these NPCs, and it works off a similar system. To me, that kind of says like it's going to be really hard for us to find two NPCs that look alike or sound alike or walk alike, so it's going to give us a really dynamic and vibrant world with lots of unique characters, which is, really exciting.
Yeah, right, because we've debated on the show before that they've got some similar looking character models in trailer 1 and trailer 2. And if this technology is in place, that would imply that this is intentional rather than a repetition of NPCs that we have seen in GTA 5.
From what I'm gathering, they're going to have different like face models, arm models, leg models, body models. And so you may get the same face on two different NPCs, but completely different body models and clothing and all of that. And then when you kind of combine that with the locomotion patent that I was talking about earlier, from what I understand, each NPC is going to have their own sort of dynamic movement under each certain umbrellas. So, like drunk Bob, happy Bob, sad Bob, you know what I mean? Like, so that'll kind of dictate how they move. And then the environment will also play a factor in that too. So I'm really excited for like an immersive, dynamic world.
And I think I'm right in saying that there's also a tagging system in there, like you mentioned, but a tagging system where you can confine NPCs to a specific area. So like if you're on the beach, they can generate all of the random beach NPCs. And then if you're like in a hipster area, they can generate a lot more, like hipster type looking people, which will make it feel a lot more like there are different sections and different places in the world, and you see different people where you go.
Yeah, no, that's 100% correct, and that's part of it too. And it's a lot of people tend to, when they talk about this patent, they tend to talk about AI generated interiors. I mean, and that is interesting, and people want to talk about interiors a lot, but there's a lot to that patent. It's very long, and there's a lot of information that comes along with it. And yes, as far as like placing certain NPC types in certain areas that make sense for them to be there is a huge part of that patent. So
this has been a hotly debated thing on GTA 6 O'Clock, and it is car refueling. Should it be in the game? Should it not? What's your view on it?
I am staunchly pro refueling the car.
This is great.
I've been playing Grand Theft Auto since like GTA 3. My first Grand Theft Auto I ever played was GTA 2 at my cousin's house when I was really young. I remember having a copy of Game Informer when San Andreas was coming out, before it actually came out. And I'm like flipping through there, like, is there any sign that we're going to be able to refuel the cars? I remember wanting it back then. So I would love to have it now. And I've heard people say, oh, I don't want to have to worry about refueling my car. And to those people, I say, too bad. You've had it your way for a long time.
Yes.
I want to be able to put gas in my car. Like it doesn't have to be something where you're refueling your car every 5 minutes. But to me, it's like, thinking about planning ahead on a heist or something like that, making sure you have enough gas in the car for your getaway, or, you're in the middle of a police chase and all of a sudden your engine sputters and comes to a stop. Well, now you've got another thing to worry about. So I just think it could add more of a fun dynamic to the actual gameplay. And I don't think it has to be something that's super annoying or repetitive,
Yeah, and surely it's a thing they can implement that you can turn on or off. Like if you don't really want it, I'm sure they can be like, hey, look, you can play the game without it. But if you want full immersion, you can turn it on and you can manage the fuel rates and all of that kind of thing.
We've already got a fuel system in the game. I mean, if you shoot a gas tank on a car, you can watch the fuel come out. And you can even, like, I don't know if you've done this, but if you get in the car in first person mode, you can watch the gas gauge drop. So like it's already pretty much implemented. All they got to do is like, give us the whole gas mechanic. So I don't know. It wouldn't be a stretch.
Here I am. Come back.
Oh, James, thanks for joining us after that definitely live interview.
I mean, it absolutely was live. I've seen people in the chat as well saying that they don't think that this is live and that we're not reading the chat. So, hey.
We are live.
It's Savvy. Nice to see you. Tordani Man, nice to see you. Helzers on Xbox. Hi. Yes, live. The time is now 6:12. So there you go. Totally live.
That is actually, it's live. We've proved it's live.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else I can do to prove it's live. But I had some questions to ask you anyway, Dan. Sure. From that interview, Sav there, vehemently on the car refueling pro side, which is great. And actually, hopefully, some of the other people I've been speaking to will be pro as well.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about that, but we'll get into it in a minute.
It's 2 against 1, so it's so far 66% of the audience.
I'll talk about the setup quite explicitly in a minute, and then we can pass the truth from what we're seeing live. So please do.
I mean, as Sav was talking about, the patents or patents, depending on where you're from, are really interesting. And I think, like we're saying, I think you can see some of that locomotion stuff in that latest bit of dead footage. It's just like the thing that makes everything feel a bit more natural and a bit more alive. And I think that's the kind of thing that I'm actually really looking forward to in GTA 6, is that kind of like, it's the kind of thing that you never really notice or comment on, but your brain goes, oh, this looks more realistic than before.
It's exactly that. That's what I was thinking as I saw the person getting off the truck. And there's just a little period of adjustment as they move. And it's that natural thing that you clock. And it's the difference between almost like AI generated versus natural, even though, it's using clever techniques to look natural. I think that totally works. And I remember when we did a show on some of the patents, it was pretty boggling. Like, it's quite hard to pass for the average sort of reader. So, congrats to Sav for making that intelligible. That's a really nice piece of work.
Are you trying to suggest we didn't make it intelligible when we did?
Look, I think we did. Maybe you did. My takeaway was, I understand most of that, but don't ask me to do a lecture on it.
Fair enough. Well, I wasn't going to ask you. Maybe I'll ask you to do a 1 hour podcast about it.
Live. Yes,
live,
please.
A 1 hour live podcast.
Thank you.
As we mentioned, you can send us your calls during this show, and we'll try and get some of you on the air. We do actually have a call from Chris, who has followed the link that's pinned in the chat. So, Chris, please, what is your question?
Hi guys, my name's Chris. Really big fan of the show. Started watching it at GTA 5 o'clock. My question is to you guys: what is it like when Rockstar reaches out to you guys? I've always imagined it's like that scene in The Matrix where Neo receives the phone from UPS. Is it kind of like that? What kind of things do they ever share with you? And then what are you expecting to look like, if at all, for GTA 6?
Thanks, Chris. Chris is really loud. I don't know if that was the same for you
clear.
Guys watching it, but Chris has got a pretty loud telephone there. What is it like when Rockstar reach out? Well, I think we could go back and talk about GTA 5 when we were doing the kind of things with Rockstar as they were revealing GTA 5. It's exciting. It is a little bit like the bit in The Matrix, although normally just via email.
Yeah, I've been working in games journalism for shockingly 25 years, so it's been quite a lot of times that I've had the call from Rockstar. But I guess the thing was interesting is back at the GTA 3 days, that wasn't come into our office and see this game. The weird thing about GTA 3, and I probably said this on the show before, was that it arrived in essentially a standard brown UPS bag. The disc was like a silver disc with GTA 3 written on it, like a test disc. And almost nobody believed this was a thing that could be to change the history of all of video games. I remember my flatmate at the time, had the copy for OPM2 magazine, and he was like, "Oh, let's put this on tonight." And we sat there "Oh my God, I think maybe this is the best game I've ever seen." But we couldn't believe it. And I think Rockstar at that stage weren't doing what they do now. They weren't doing the come to our office, sit in our amazing 100-inch, OLED screen with THX sound or whatever it was. And that was, maybe what they do for 6 will be different, and we don't know that yet. And I'm a bit caught here between our role as GTA 6 o'clock hosts and breaking the fourth wall with the mundanity of my actual life, I guess. But we've spoken to Rockstar, but they haven't yet said, and now's the time to come in. But it's not like I'm on speed dial to them and they're telling me this is true, this isn't true. It isn't like that.
Yeah.
It's just that when it's time, I'd like to think, I hope, we get the call. And, and if it helps, I'm going to be really excited.
That will help. We're both going to be really excited as and when that point comes around. Like you were saying, I remember having it, I think it was GTA 4 maybe, in the office. But it was only one copy of it was in the office at the time, and everybody started crowding around the TV and being like, you should come and look at this game because it's phenomenal, and we should, and everyone's there. If one person gets to play it, about 20 people watch. And what everyone loves in a pressure environment like that is everyone telling you how to play the game properly. Why are you going that way for?
Yeah.
Oh, you've crashed the car into the building, you idiot. What are you doing?
A free roam game. One final anecdote, just because we're live and it's fun. So I was almost, and the word almost is operative there, almost the first person in the world to finish GTA San Andreas who wasn't at Rockstar.
And what happened?
Well, what happened was, so Rockstar put us under essentially 5-star house arrest at a really posh hotel in central London. And every single day, a Rockstar representative would turn up at the hotel with a locked case containing the game disc. So we would then sit down from 9:30 in the morning and play all day long. And this went on for 3 or 4 days. On the final day, it was around about 5 o'clock in the evening, and the Rockstar guy looked me in the eye and he said, I'm not going to bullshit you. I think there's a chance we get this finished tonight. And I was like, oh my God. So we powered through the last set of missions all the way. And I got to literally the last mission. And again, spoilers for a really old game. You know the bit where you're in and the building catches on fire as CJ? And it was it was 2 minutes to 12. And the guy had to leave because he was on a call with New York in 2 hours and he was almost crying. And basically, I absolutely flumped it and burned to death. And I looked at him and I said, can I have one more go? And he looked at me with broken eyes and he went, you don't understand. We can't. So I almost, but not quite finished it when I reviewed it.
Wow. Well, I mean, obviously you did end up finishing it, but just at the
No,
time.
tell me how it ends. I never found out. So that's a joke.
Good. Well, yes, thank you very much for that question. As I say, if you've got something you want to submit, hit the pinned link in the chat if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening to this back post-live event or on one of the podcast services, don't hit that link. It won't work. Just enjoy the rest of the show. Speaking of things that we've got coming up, we've got our next interview. I've got to go and chat to the GTA base guys, Andy. I'm going to go get him on the phone in our little spaceship phone booth over there. So you do this.
Is that
I'll
you,
be back.
Andy?
No, he's on the phone.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Good luck,
I'm
James.
going. Thank you. Yes, hello everyone. It's me again, and now I am joined by Andy from GTA Base. Hello, and welcome to GTA 6 o'clock.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
And something I wanted to ask you from all of your coverage that you've done so far is how accurate do you think the current representation of the GTA 6 map is? Do you think there's any more that we're going to see? Do you think they've mapped it out pretty accurately? Love to hear your thoughts.
Well, if history is any indication, with how we've seen in the previous iteration of the games, both with GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, the community did a pretty damn great job with recreating the maps. So I think the shape of the map is probably very accurate to what we're going to have. But what I'm curious to see is that there's still a lot of empty spots on the map. And especially on the north side, we have known nothing about the game on the north side. Rockstar has shown nothing about it. And it could be massive. It could be even bigger than what we were seeing. There are rumors about being another state in the game, Gloriana State, based on Georgia. That could be there. So I think the shape overall of the map is fairly accurate, but I think there's still a lot more that Rockstar is hiding from us. I don't think the two trailers have shown enough to get a picture of the whole thing.
Sure, absolutely. And where do you fall on the rumored inclusion of like a Disneyland type thing? Is that something you're interested in?
I think Rockstar is probably gonna do it. Like, knowing them, I'm positive that there's gonna be something like that in the game. So yeah, that would be cool to see for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those content drops then. Obviously, we've had trailer 1 and trailer 2, plus all of the 70 odd screenshots, but we're waiting for the next piece of GTA 6 content. When do you think that will come? What do you think it will be? Do you think it will be this year? Do you think we'll get Christmas screenshots again like we did in previous GTA editions? Lots of questions there. Interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, Christmas screenshots would be nice. Last year they didn't do it. Fans were expecting it and nothing happened. Maybe this year they make up for it. But other than that, it's hard to say. For GTA 5, they released the 3 characters trailer. They released trailer 1, trailer 2, and then the trailer for Michael, Trevor, and Franklin was the 3rd content drop. Here, I don't think they're going to release individual trailers for Jason and Lucia. I don't think so. So it's probably trailer 3. But it would be nice to have something before that. Like trailer 3, I think is going to be next year, early next year, hopefully. But it would be nice to have something in December to make up for the delay, because they didn't even give like a sorry screenshot for the delay. They just say, hey, it's delayed and deal with it. They didn't even sweeten the deal a little bit like they did the first time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for what it's worth, I think hopefully we'll get some kind of Christmas screenshots in December and then trailer 3 sometime early next year. But I'm totally on the same side as you. I don't think they're going to do individual trailers for Jason and Lucia. I think we'll just get a more story-focused trailer 3 type thing.
Yeah, maybe a story trailer, yeah. Story trailer and then gameplay trailer will be next as the 4th thing.
Perfect. Well, before I let you go, Andy, is there anything else you want to talk about now you're on episode 100 of GTA 6 O'Clock?
No, nothing much. It's just been a pleasure to be invited. So thank you so much for thinking of me and having me. And yeah, it's great. And I hope we have more to talk about very soon in general about this game.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Andy. Dan, I'm coming back.
Oh, hello. Hey.
It surprises you every time that I've been over there. I don't know why.
It does. At 6:24 p.m, definitely live.
6:24 p.m. Thank you very much. Time check. Love that. Thank you, Andy, from the GTA base for that little chat, phone call. Some of the interviews we're doing, as some of you may have noticed, are on camera. Others are just audio, and we've put some lovely footage on top of it to help you out. Lots of map chat in that conversation, Dan. I see Yanis, creator of one of the creators of the GTA mapping project, in our chat. So, Yanis, I hope you enjoyed all of that map goodness. I do have a little thing to say about it. In the last week or so, the mapping project have removed the panhandle from the map for seemingly no reason. And I want to know what you feel about that, Dan.
Oh, do you know, I wrote about oh my God, we're live. I'm going to plug the newsletter.
Oh, the newsletter, yes.
I only say that because I sit there every Friday and diligently write the newsletter. And because it's not an like this, you can hear what people are saying. I feel like it's me talking to myself. Maybe it is. But we wrote about that in the newsletter. And like, I was a bit to panhandle or not to panhandle. I don't know anymore. Like, I'm taking this from the wise minds of the mapping project.
Yeah, and from what I gather, the reason that it has been removed is because there's no real evidence of it being in existence, and the current points of interest along the shoreline in real life appear to have been moved to like the west side of the GTA 6 map. So then if all of that stuff has moved off there, why would you have it anyway? What it does do, as was evidenced in that chat, is make the map look quite a bit like the GTA 5 map. And I don't know if that's a problem for you, but it might start to feel a little bit over familiar.
I think it's only a problem when you, like we do, stare at pictures of maps in a top-down fashion and compare them. I think in reality, when you're playing the game, even if it is as a sort of circumference very similar to 5, it's just not going to feel like 5. And I don't know the degree to which I felt like I was in any particular position on that map until I literally reached the coast. The thing it does affect, I guess, is really when you're on the literal coastline and you cast your eye down the coastline, with a panhandle, it would create a sort of swooping effect that would be more pronounced and would be a thing you'd expect to see in screenshots and so forth. But I don't have a really strong view on it, really. I mean, it's much more about what's within the world. I do think that creating the sort of football oval shape that it might be is just a lot better in terms of keeping us within the map and its environment. It's that true, the Truman Show effect of like it's all self-contained within a bubble. We talked about this on the show a lot. The idea of like, the Great Wall of the North or whatever, like Game of Thrones. It's just not a very satisfying solution if it was actually land joined. Where if you just cover it all in water, bish bosh, jobs are good.
Well, Alpha Games on X has actually made... Now, look, guys, I'm going to try and put this up on the screen behind me, and I haven't done it. So, if this wasn't live, I would have edited all of this out. But actually, what I'm going to have to do is try and do that again. So I have to throw this over here.
Oh, hello.
Here we go. Look, here we go. So this is a current sort of topography of what it might look like. Obviously, this is like a satellite, superimposed satellite imagery. So you can see we have Leonidas Keys, Vice City, and then Port Gellhorn, and then all of this top section is Mount Callaghan National Park, which feels a little bit like GTA 5's problem, as from here upwards, there's not a lot going on. Like for me, I think this area, top right, feels like you should put something else there.
Yeah, without knowing the actual truth of it, what this is giving me, I feel like I'm doing the weather here, by the way. What this is giving me is like the worst bits of Death Stranding 2 vibes, where I remember there's a lot of like super mountainous areas in Death Stranding 2, where the solution is often, I'll just drive a really long way around them to save scaling the vertical face of it. It'd be interesting to see if how GTA, through the design, forces you up and through certain areas as opposed to around. It's very different games. It's just, I got that vibe as I saw it.
Fine, let me try and close this.
Hey.
Wow. Yeah, we are pre-recorded because that was super smooth. Right, I believe we have another call. Thank you all for getting in touch. This is really great. I actually didn't expect this many people to be using that live link, so really appreciate you guys. This is Jessman269, so let's have a listen to the question.
Hi guys, I'm Jessman269. Personally love the show, have been watching ever since, it goes way back in GTA 5 o'clock days, but my main question to you guys is, in regards to post-launch, the content, where do you guys feel, given the information we know now, where does that really fit in to the possibility of it being made for the single player and for GTA 6?
Well, there you go. The game's not out yet, and we're talking about post-launch content. I mean, look, I think given the way that things went with GTA 5, and having seen the interviews now with like Dan Houser saying there might have been some conversations around how games at Rockstar evolve over time, and him wanting to go down the route of maybe game is released, then there's some DLC on a single player level, and some of the other people at Rockstar saying actually it should just be game is done and then online. Dan is now at a new company. Some of the people who are probably having those conversations are still at Rockstar. People can change their minds, especially over the course of 12 to 13 years. But it would suggest GTA 6 might be, you buy the standalone game, comes with online, and then online is the thing that lives on. Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Or no?
No, I don't mean that like in a leading way. And first of all, can I say, actually, like you said, thanks for your call. It's super amazing to have so many people dial in, and quite humbling. So, like, genuine shout out to like everyone and all those people you interviewed, James, even the ones who were pro refueling.
Yeah. Well, I've only interviewed 2 of them so far.
Well, and one of them was pro refueling. So 50%. Sorry, Sav, brilliant research, lovely voice, bad view on the refueling. But to answer this question, I don't know. I just feel like I don't think the model will be dramatically different. I think GTA Online, as it was just so phenomenally successful. If you were the person who had to make the decision about, we've done this thing and it's made gazillions, would you like to stick with what we know or flip it all up? Yes or no? I think the inclination would be stick.
Yes, of course. There was a question in the chat that I was about to read out. Not a question, like a statement, but it's gone away now. Because one of our... Here we go. I found it again. One of our production team has put it up. Yangri Young has contributed to the fuel conversation, saying that you can feed your horse in Red Dead Redemption 2, but starving it won't kill it. If you run out of fuel, your car shouldn't stop. It should just perform a little worse. And perhaps electric cars could even be immune to it. Is that the good middle ground? I think that's a good middle ground for us.
It's best we leave your comment as the official answer of the show.
There we go. There was one other thing that we talked about with Andy that was about the next content drop, when we think we might see new bits of GTA 6 content. Yeah. We've covered this on the show quite a lot. Andy wasn't quite sure about Christmas screenshots, said it would be nice. I said yes, of course it would be nice. Everyone would love that. What he did say is that he didn't think that we would get a Jason and Lucia trailers for GTA 6 like we got Michael Trevor Franklin for GTA 5, and that the next trailer will probably just be like a form of trailer 3 rather than about one character in particular, which I think I agree with. I think it would feel like you're treading too much of the same path if you get a trailer called GTA 6 Lucia trailer or whatever.
Yeah, it does feel like treading old ground, and like it's in a weird way. And there's a caveat to this that I'll mention. It will be a little bit like going backwards, because if you've had 3 characters and 3 day in the lives from 3 very, very different people, who live in very different locations within the world, it's just a great device to show off different parts of GTA 5. It doesn't feel, from what we know, that way for GTA 6. I think it would be a strange thing to do, unless, and here's that caveat, the thing we've talked about on the show a lot is this idea of could the game be about same events, 2 different perspectives? If the Lucia trailer, gave up the game of like, hey, look, Lucia's view of this event is different to Jason's. I've got to say, this is just more my fantasy than a thing that's definitely real. But like, I think it would be personally, I think that's a super interesting way to look at the game. Probably a disaster to create and program. But, that's a way you might do 2 perspectives. I'm not saying it will be.
Fine. Well, let's get someone else's perspective on GTA 6 with our next interview. This one is from TGG. I have heard that he is on the phone right now, so I'll go and I got to go and have a chat to him, and you throw to that link. Make sure you do it properly this time.
Yeah, there's the phone.
And now I am joined by TGG. Welcome to GTA 6 O'Clock episode 100. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me. Congrats on 100 episodes. That's very impressive to stick with it for that long, and every week pretty much as well. So congrats.
And one of the things that you've made fairly recently is that you've been to some of the locations in Miami in real life and tried to replicate them with GTA 6 trailer shots. Having been to the city, do you think that the trailers we've seen are capturing the vibe?
Absolutely. I think they've nailed it more than they even did with GTA 5 with LA. I've been there as well, but every part of the trailer, you go there in real life and it is genuinely like you're in the game. Obviously it's condensed down a bit, but no, they've absolutely nailed at least the feel of every part of the map, which is kind of crazy to say because we've only seen 3.5 minutes of trailers total, but no, they're absolutely going to knock it out of the park for sure.
And was there something while you were there that was the most surprising? Like, were you there saying, actually, this is either way off or 100% accurate? Like, you're like, wow, this is going to be good.
I would say Wynwood as well.
Yeah.
I was shocked. That trailer 1 street in the graffiti area of where you're following, I think it's a car. There's a car meet on the right side. That street feels and pretty much looks exactly like the game. Honestly, I can't wait to go to all the car meets there, and that's where I'm going to honestly spend a lot of my time in Vice City, I think, is that Wynwood area. It's got a lot of character, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. Honestly, in terms of Miami in general, which I'm interested to see how they handle in GTA 6, is what was surprising about Miami in general to me was you hear more Spanish than English.
Yeah.
That's going to be... I wonder if they're going to have NPCs speaking different languages, more so than other parts of America, and definitely more so than anywhere I've been. Honestly, there's not that much English in Miami, so it's going to be interesting to see.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the game and the story in general. How do you feel that the game is going to start this time? You know, just pure speculation, of course, but do you think it's going to start with a prologue? Do you think we're going to start immediately in Vice City? Is it going to be bombastic or something a little bit Red Dead style and slower?
I think Rockstar's probably learned from making Red Dead a bit too slow at the start, in a lot of people's opinions. Do you remember, it was probably years ago now, the leaks or rumors about the opening mission for GTA 6, where it was like Jason on a smuggler plane chasing down, I think it was Russians, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of makes a lot of sense now, though, doesn't it? Now that we know Jason starts in the Keys, we know he's going to be working for Brian, who is a drug smuggler. So I'm sort of leaning towards maybe a smuggler plane mission could be the intro, just because of how perfectly that rumor or leak from several years ago lines up with what we know now. As for Lucia, I think you'd hope we'll get some sort of flashback, right? Like, her family is mentioned, where she grew up is mentioned, and it says, fighting for her family landed her in Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Like, this is how she ended up in prison. Something with her family, something with her backstory. So I think with Lucia, very good chance we get some sort of flashback. But for Jason's side of things, I don't know, that rumor just lines up too well with what we know now. So I'm going to say we'll have two separate types of missions for both of them. Yeah, because that's a big misconception as well. That Jason and Lucia, a heist goes wrong, and then Lucia ends up in prison. That's kind of how it's worded, but if you read a bit closer, that's not how it's actually worded. Lucia is in prison because of something that happened seemingly previously. But then for both of them, it says when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America. So at some point early in the game, I'd assume that we'd have some sort of heist that goes wrong, which would start this big cop chase across the entire, this Bonnie and Clyde style, cop chase across the rest of the story.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is, well, from the discussions that we've had on the show before, I think that's where we're leaning. Like that Lucia will be in prison somewhere near the beginning of the game, then her and Jason will get together. And we've got to remember that she's on a tag after she comes out of prison, so she won't be able to go very far for a bit of the game at least.
Yeah.
And then they do something which either lands them in trouble with the cops, or I guess lands them in trouble with a rival gang or criminal organization. Then they they've accidentally killed one of the high-ranking leaders of another organization, end up in trouble with not only the cops, but someone like one of the other characters roaming around the map. They would probably start off the game working with Brian, who feels a bit more small time. He's obviously been there a while. He's got a pretty good setup. Jason's doing some work for him, and then possibly he sets up some kind of score that for some reason doesn't go well for Jason and Lucia. And you can see them crossing somebody like Raul Batista, who feels like he's a lot more on the organized crime side of things. Possibly he has some kind of business, and then they end up robbing that business by accident or doing an extra score on the side, and then it's one of his, and he's like, wow, you're going to need to pay me back for this. And then that enters you, into Act 2, basically, and you're having to do jobs for him to pay back some kind of debt.
That's actually, I like that thinking. because they don't. Oh wow, I've never thought of it from this way before, because they do say this puts him in the middle of a criminal conspiracy, not just a cop chase. Like there's some sort of conspiracy here, so maybe adding into an extra layer that it might not just be the cops that they've got in trouble with. It could be a rival gang or something that they've done. Wow, that's food for thought. Do you know something? These are some like really good theories. Has someone told you something?
I know that we've done 100 episodes of this show, and eventually you speculate about everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
But that is where I'm leaning right now, I think.
No, I like these theories though. They go a layer deeper than most theories I've seen on the internet though. Wow, that would be really cool.
Thank you, TGG, for being part of episode 100, and I am sure we will catch up again soon.
Yes, no, thank you again. Always happy to do anything. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
Who's this?
It gets further and further away every time. Did I make that joke last time?
The joke gets further and further away every time. So,
and the conversation box also does that
yes.
too. So here we are. Welcome back to GTA 6 O'Clock 100, the live episode. Lots to talk about from that conversation with TGG. Now, I did want to point out that it's great to hear that, obviously, having been there, that the vibe is feeling right, because that's like such an important thing of GTA games. But he's been to Miami and said, from the trailers, everything feels right.
Yeah, I thought that was really, like, first of all, again, thank you for, catching up with James and appearing on the show. Like, really appreciate it. And, like, power to you in the community you've built. That's great. I thought it was interesting when he was talking about, like, Miami, where English is not the main language. And I think that's maybe an interesting thing. It's like a logistical challenge for Rockstar, where its predominant user base may or may not be English speakers. To what extent you lean towards reality versus actually what's going to be the best for. And this is what all Hollywood movies wrestle with, where fiddle-dee-dee, somehow everybody from everywhere speaks English, which sometimes is true, but not entirely. So I think we'll get a similar version of that. But I think it's more, and you're right, it's the authentic feel. And we've talked about this with some of the areas and the graffiti and the way they've used real-world artists and referenced them. That level of authenticity is what Rockstar excel at. So yeah, it's nice to hear from someone who's actually been to Miami. Just to add, like, we're still waiting to start our Kickstarter to take us to Miami. We haven't launched it or indeed really spoken about it, but if we were, we can also say, it's really accurate.
I'm waiting for the travel company to come in with an offer just to take us there.
Well, we could do this, but live. Maybe this is a terrible idea. Let's do this live on Miami Beach.
Yeah, sure.
And probably get arrested and not have the permit.
Yeah.
So that would be quite awkward.
It's good because everything you say on a live episode becomes fact. So now we have to do that because you've said it.
I'm projecting. What's the word you do? You do those magic wish things. Manifesting. I'm manifesting.
Yeah, that
Like,
sounded like
manifest, magic projection. You pick your word.
Sounded like both of us came up with that word at the same time. And I'm not going to tell anybody why that happened. It was also great to see the bar that Jason and Lucia in the trailer, but in real life. So in the footage that TGG has got on his channel, like, go and watch that video because you can really get a sense for what everything actually looks like and where the real world models have come from.
Yeah, I want to pick up on something. I really enjoyed the conversation around the intro because it did jog my memory when TGG was saying, remember that leak where Jason's on the motorbike chasing what we said was Russian gangsters, and there's that read like a deleted scene from Mission Impossible, like something they've done at those films to get the gamer accelerated, the viewer accelerated into the action. And I'd sort of written it off at the time as like, come on, it's a bit hokum. But it does fit within the universe to an extent, but like it did sound quite high octane.
Yeah.
For if Jason was doing that and then he goes back to small time jobs and like he meets Lucia and he's like, last week I was following a jet plane on a motorbike. She'd be like, crikey, we're just robbing the five and dime today. So it's a bit of a step down.
Well, unless it's like just meeting a drug smuggler as part of Brian's get up, and he's just like, the plane's coming in, you have to follow it into the hangar, meet the guy, make sure all the merchandise is correct, etc., etc. Once listening to that, I keep thinking about, there's a scene in trailer 2 where Jason is on a motorbike and a yellow plane is flying over his head.
Yes.
Like, could that be from the first mission of the game?
Yeah. That
yes.
You could definitely draw a line between those two. So like, I would not say never to that. And there's an interesting thing where if you look back at all of the leaks for Red Dead Redemption 2 that entered the public domain, and I haven't done this side by side for a complete match, there's a surprising amount of stuff that was out there. Like a really surprising amount of stuff that out there. When it got revealed, I think a lot of us were like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, it's damn right. The thing I quickly wanted to pick up on is talking about intros. Rockstar have done the heist intro before. They've done the GTA 5 starts with that, with kind of a prequel intro. Even, Red Dead it's the train. Let's all get on the train. It's a great way to set a game up, get you used to the action, etc., etc. As you were talking in that interview, what it got me thinking was, would it be fun if, like, the first character you see, because there's such a mystery around Lucia, and we know things about her parents being so important to her, like, it would be fun, I think, and a real holy Moses moment if, say, you started the game playing as her father or her mother, because it contextualizes everything to follow and would explain why she has such a bond. And we've talked on the show about the little boxing necklace she's got and why that's so important to her. What if, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just throwing it out there. Let's say the game began, you play as her father, and he is like a boxer, and it introduces the fighting mechanics, and it's like a super cool, and it's in Liberty City. And people are like, what the, GTA 6 has begun in Liberty City, mind's blown.
And then, extra bit of mind blowing, it also gives you the opportunity to put that version of Liberty City in the 80s.
Oh, people would go Scorchio for that, right?
Because then the time...
Yeah.
They're just about to have a child, maybe, at that point, in the 80s. The time frame doesn't work out, because then she'd have to be 40, and she isn't 40. So it doesn't... Maybe, it doesn't... There's some work to do on our conceptual storytelling.
Exactly. We are riffing quite literally live. But I think that would be an interesting thing they haven't done in that way.
Yeah.
Where Red Dead has explored... family lineage in a different way. This would be another way to invert that. It would be fun. But a lot of the theories are really compelling. So, this is the fun of it, right?
That that alleged way that the game might have started does contain little bits, like you say, about Jason, which feels a bit more legitimate. The bit about Lucia feels a little bit too far-fetched for me. It started off on this whole post, which is from Reddit about 2 years ago, if anyone can't remember it, saying that I was surprised by my source when I was told that Lucia has a baby and she abandons it at a delicatessen before heading out to a bank robbery and then getting arrested for doing such an act. It's not known if the baby was a boy or a girl. And obviously there'll be no kids in the game. This only happens in a cutscene as a flashback of the past. I have no information about what happens to the baby after this point. After a few years, Lucia gets released on probation. She's picked up at the prison by Jason, who's planning a robbery with her, and they fall in love with each other after some time. The majority of the planning missions take place in a nightclub called Vault. In the very first mission of the game, you control Jason, and you have to follow a plane that is about to land and carries a Russian drug dealer. Apparently, Jason meets this guy and starts to plan a mission to steal drugs. In this drug stealing mission, they are chased by the police, and the drugs end up falling into the ocean. There's a following mission where they have to dive to retrieve it. That section feels sure, that could happen. The bit about Lucia, I'm not buying. I don't think that is how that whole thing is going to work.
Yeah, because you're right. The second section is tick, tick, tick for gameplay, because it's going on foot, on vehicle, chasing a thing. Now you're going into the water. It's the ultimate whistle stop of all of the game's mechanics. Yeah. The Lucia stuff, you can't have a scene where a lead character has a baby, drops it somewhere, and it may or may not be revisited. That is a massive moment. It's massive for so many reasons. It's massive because it colours your judgment of Lucia and that character and the reason she did it. You can't like have that baby disappear. It would have to then become utterly central to the plot in some way, even if it's to do with her motivations and everything. It's framed in that way. It's a strange detail. It's not to say she can't have a baby, but the way that's framed is weird.
And it doesn't feel like that are her motivations, because we know, she's like, I got into prison by fighting for my family, whether that's physically or conceptually. It doesn't feel like she's fighting for her family if she's leaving a bit of her family in a delicatessen before going off to rob a bank.
Unless there's a red herring in that talks, we see in here talk about a father and a mother, not a child, but family does cover a lot of different people. It could be a child. That's me trying to make it fit. Really.
Sure, yeah. And like on that, if let's say it does happen like that, for child neglect in the US, depending on the severity of it, you can get, it's like a 2nd-degree felony, which carries up to 15 years in prison, or a 3rd-degree felony, which is 5 years. Now, 5 years I can buy, like as a thing that she's been in prison for a while, but not like 15 years. You could see something happen to her, not that, but something that lands her in jail for around 5 years, which allows time to like skip forward a bit until she's coming back out, and then she'd be on a tag, as we know she's going to be on a tag and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's child related, but
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's hard to create a sympathetic character, and you go, why are you being let out from dropping your baby at a delicatessen? Go, good luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's just very weird tonally.
Fine. Well, through all of that conversation, we have had a super chat come in from Rob J2830, who has asked us a question in the YouTube chat and says, do you think Rockstar will go all out to advertise a trailer during the World Cup, to advertise it to millions around the world during the tournament? I know what my answer is, but I'll let you go first.
Well, my answer is like they don't need to, but like the World Cup is June to July 2026. Strauss Zelnick has come out and talked about like a relatively compressed window of advertising, and he talked also about high impact advertising. So that's potentially a tick, and it could be the start of the countdown to GTA as Go. So yeah, I could believe it, but like I was going to say counter argument, they're just about the most expensive ad slots in the world at the World Cup. But if a game isn't short of money, it's GTA 6. So I could buy it. I don't think they have to, but I could believe that that's the thing.
I'm going to say no.
What?
Not gonna. Why would they? Why? Like they've released the most viewed entertainment trailer in the world on YouTube and other social platforms, and got all of the views they need. Why would they feel the need to put it in front of those people and pay the millions of pounds that they need to?
It comes down to bluntly like a demographic thing and an ad targeting thing. Like there are still, I would argue, people you reach with a TV audience you don't reach with a YouTube audience, and and whether they want those people or not is for Rockstar to decide. I do agree with you, as in terms of blunt raw views, what's to be achieved. I think it's more about does it create conversation that spirals elsewhere in mainstream, in broadsheets? Do they do an activation? For example, if games are held in Miami, literally in Miami, but then maybe it's not a trailer, maybe it's an event activation. Like they're very Rockstar have got a history of doing those huge skyscraper takeovers and drop downs.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
You could do that, or something around the stadium, or something that created a talking point around that. Look, if Lionel Messi emerges at the Miami Stadium, I don't know, dressed like Jason or Lucia in a more surprising way. You've heard it here first, but I'm not putting any money on that.
I would say it would be cool if they used that kind of time just to say like a date and time for the next trailer. Like by that point, hopefully we would have got trailer 3. So then we're like, trailer 4 drops this date, this time, and it's just like a 20-second ad slot that just says that GTA 6 trailer 4 this date and time. That would be cool, and it reaches all of the people watching, and then you get all of the social effect of everyone talking about it at the same time. Everyone's talking about the time and the date.
do that, you're welcome, Rockstar.
If any professional footballers are listening, please be the first to do when you score a goal, the 6 sign or whatever it is with your fingers. Rockstar, thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we have a couple more interviews to come, but first, I'm looking around the room to make sure that this is okay. It's okay, yes. We have another call before we get to the next interview, and this one is from Al. So take it away, Al.
Hi guys, my name is Al. I am older than I would like to divulge, old enough to remember the GTA 5 o'clock 100th episode. So it's good to see you guys back with one for GTA 6. What I would like to ask is, GTA 4 and both Red Deads, and to a lesser extent GTA 5, have quite a lot of emotional resonance and depth to the characters. This is probably largely due to Dan Houser's writing. How do you think that the characters in GTA 6 will appear now that he's left? Do you think that they'll be kind of like broader and with less nuance and emotional depth?
Thanks, Al. Great question. And something that we have talked about on the show quite a lot before in terms of how Jason and Lucia are going to come across as characters. And they're obviously young, like mid-20s, let's say. And I think, as we've talked about before, the writing in GTA 5 and GTA 4 is very much written from a perspective of write what those people who were writing the story were going through at the time. We obviously don't know what people have been experiencing who are writing GTA 6, but I feel it's going to have a much younger vibe and possibly explore that relationship between two people more than any other GTA game has done in the past.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Thank you. And hey, I understand. Sometimes you don't want to reveal your age. Time does wear on. And thank you for listening from the start. Dan Houser talks a lot about this, and he's done the rounds a lot recently. The best thing by far he's talked about is the Lex Fridman podcast. He talks in that about when he was writing Nico. That's a very dark game, like an immigrant tale in sort of melting pot New York. He talks himself about being in quite a dark place at that time when his life wasn't very settled. But as he says, he thinks it really informed his work. I think if you then move forward to GTA 5, like if I was to speculate, and I don't think he said this explicitly, the character who's the closest map to probably where Dan was in his life is Michael. You've got to think in his own career, by that stage, Dan was like a made man. They'd done GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA 4 had been a runaway success. Without speculating on people's circumstances, I dare say Dan had felt like, I don't need to work anymore. I don't need to do any more of this. Now, I might be wrong. And that's what Michael is. Michael is the guy who got to the end of the rainbow and he achieves the dream. He's retired, he's young, but life goes on. And existentially, I feel like I'd love to be in that situation, but it's an exploration of that. It's what happens when you've hit every marker or life goal you think you want to hit. So I think Dan was probably exploring through himself and through Michael the world through that lens, and then also interfacing with you've got the young buck character with him and that mentorship role, and then also whatever the hell Trevor is, right, like Chaos Agent. They're really good cast. I don't know. None of us know how rich or emotionally resonant 6 will be. We've had so limited snippets of it. I don't know. I feel like instinctively I want to say I think something has been lost by Dan leaving, but that might be devaluing the work of so many people, the thousands of people who make that game. So I wouldn't, I do not want to presume anything until we've experienced it.
Great. Well, thank you once again for your question. And speaking of writing things, wouldn't it be great if we could speak to a screenwriter about some of this stuff? Yes, it would. And interview number 4 is with Vinewood Public Access. He has a great YouTube channel. You should go and check it out. He's made an in-game radio station and is also a screenwriter. So I've got to pop back to the telephone booth and talk to him. But you set this up. What do you think we're going to talk about as I leave over here?
Well, do you know what? I would tell you if I was actually at that point in the script, but I'm not. So look forward to a really interesting chat about some undiscovered details in GTA 6.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to episode 100. Great to have you as part of the show.
James, thank you so much for having me, buddy. I really appreciate it. Longtime fan, longtime listener of the GTA 5 and 6 o'clock. Let's make that clear. But yeah, we have put together an in-game radio station. So Vinewood Public Access is an in-game, synced up to the 48-minute day, in-universe public radio station inspired by Chatterbox FM and VCPR.
It would make the most sense to me to talk a little bit about the radio stations and the things that we've had in previous GTA games. So do you have a radio station that you want to see return in GTA 6 from Vice City, for example, or any of the other GTA games?
I think the short answer is yes. I think that Vice City's soundtrack, the GTA Vice City from 3D Universe, it's hard to argue that that's not the most iconic. They actually sold box CD sets of this for those who were not maybe old enough to remember. This soundtrack hit hard media, and people who barely even played the game found it to be such a good soundtrack that they went and bought the soundtrack. With that being said, I don't really think there's a lot of missteps for Rockstar if they choose to bring back any of those stations in a new age way. No one's going to be mad about V-Rock. No one's going to be mad about Emotion or Wave or any of those stations coming back. I think they're all wins. I think what they won't do, and which would be bad, is if they brought all of them back. And just saying we're going to have the same radio stations from back then, that won't happen. My wish list for that, though, would be bring back Vice City Public Radio. I think VCPR, specifically Maurice Chavez and all of that, the way they did that show, they can totally change it. They can make it an all new thing. They don't have to bring Maurice back. I understand that. But the radio's been one of those weird places where the 3D and HD universes kind of break the rules, where you have Fernando Martinez showing up, you have Laszlo, these characters that go from one universe to the other. The radio seems to be where that gray area is. So maybe Maurice does come back, but VCPR just has a soft spot in my heart. I think it's one of the greatest comedy things ever made. So if they bring back pressing issues in any way, I'm gonna be a happy guy.
Yes, love it. And you mentioned some of the classics there, like V-Rock and Emotion. Do you think that if they come back, they're going to have the same tracks on it, or do you think it will be V-Rock with a modern twist, with some modern rock classics in there?
Well, I think you always need that classic rock radio, right? That's a staple in the GTA radio wheel. You have to have something that's playing old rock songs. That's because they're going to use that in the story. The Tom Petty song that's in the trailer, right? Love is a Long Road. That has to be in the game because all the trailer songs are always in the game. And it has to be on whatever V-Rock or Los Santos rock radio, like whatever that vehicle is. I think because V-Rock is the throwback station, like it is in the 80s, and you need that vehicle, I feel like that's the obvious one to bring back. Like, let's bring back V-Rock, let's give it a new host, and let's have it had been around for 30, 40 years in this universe, and use it as your vehicle to play songs that maybe were even on Vice City as new songs, and now they're a throwback, which is fun. I don't think they'll copy too many, but I don't think anyone's going to be mad if you're driving around and one of the songs from Vice City pops on the radio. No one's going to pitch a fit about that.
So that's the nostalgia taken care of. Are there any modern tracks or artists that you think are going to be guaranteed to feature in the game?
Yeah, so I think we have to have the Tom Petty song. We have to have the Pointer Sisters song from trailer 2. But as far as modern stuff, I think there's a couple of obvious ones, right? First of all, we all, I think, in the community have been talking about how Circo Loco Records is likely to be a radio station. We would almost be flabbergasted if they didn't do that. So it's either a radio station or it's a record label putting out songs across radio stations. So start there as far as modern. And then I really thought about this as far as it's Miami. So who's iconic Miami? And I couldn't come up with much more than Pitbull. I feel like Mr. Worldwide, I don't even know if it's still modern. I don't know. We're both not young men, James. And for me, it's hard to say what is a track that a 24-year-old is listening. What are Jason and Lucia listening to at this point? I'm a little out of touch with that. But I think Mr. Worldwide is a miss if you're going to make a game based in Miami.
That is true. I'm frantically trying to look up when Pitbull put out his last record.
He's still popping around, man. I think the thing that interests me most about the new radio and their opportunities are what are we going to see as far as the way media is structured in the game.
Yeah, because the modern day now, everyone carries music around with them all the time, headphones and whatever, whereas back in the world of GTA 5, that was less so.
It was a thing, but the radio was being listened to in 2013 in a very different way than it is now. Absolutely. I think the other opportunity that they have in this, because it's taken so long and we know that online is going to be a dynamic, changing universe in a way. Let's bring that to the media. Let's bring that dynamic change where every few months we get updates to the radio or changes to the radio. I personally, I'd love to hear some Christmas music around the holidays if it's snowing outside, and that's not even hard music to license. So I feel like if they put a little bit of post-launch effort into the media of the world, I think that's a huge win. Like, let's see it change.
Yeah, that'll be great. It's something I hadn't really thought about, to be fair, but changing that stuff to do with what's happening in the world at the time, as we've talked about on the show quite a lot, if it's going to have a dynamic calendar as well, that's when, maybe it's days of the week, maybe it's months, maybe the game takes place over a number of years. You've got that seasonality to go to, like it's summer now, all the pop hits are out, and as we move into winter, it's Christmas. Yeah, definitely on board with that.
Absolutely. And of course, UGC, right? Because we have to get Vinewood Public Access into the game somehow. So where's this vehicle, Rockstar, for me to shove my radio down everyone's throats? That's the hope.
Exactly.
We absolutely do, which segues me nicely into if talk radio stations are going to be part of GTA 6, what topics do you want to see those radio stations covering?
I don't want to see them shy away from the obvious political nature of America. I don't want sides to be chosen, which they've never really done. I think GTA 4 and the radio stations with WKTT and PLR, that was perfect. I like WCTR, and Blaine County Talk Radio is one of the best things ever. Danny McBride, I'm a huge fan of everything he does about. However, there's not really a dichotomy in that game the way that there is in GTA 4. In GTA 4, as you switch stations, you go, whoa, that's pretty crazy left-wing bonkers. And then you go, oh, that's pretty crazy right-wing bonkers. And it feels even. I would love to see them try to do that. I think that's harder than it's ever been. If anyone can do it, it's them. I have a tremendous amount of faith that they'll do that. And I think to ignore it would be a huge misstep. But with that being said, like I said, I love the Vice City Public Radio model, and I liked K-Chat too. I would love for there to be a Danny McBride, Jason Sudeikis, like right-wing lunatic, but also have a left-wing lunatic and also have call-ins. I think those are the three elements that you really want to hear in talk radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the screenshots we see, there's a possibility of some kind of election happening at the time. That's going to be in the game in some way, one side and the other. So it sets itself up perfectly for that kind of thing.
That's true, but we also still don't have a governor chosen in Los Santos. San Andreas still is battling it out between Jock Cranley and Sue Murray, and we do not have an answer. So can we do that? Can we elect someone within this new game if we're going to have an election? Can we have the election?
And the storyline involving Jason and Lucia, how do you think that's going to play out? There's been many conversations around it, of course. Is one of them going to end up being some kind of law enforcement? We know Jason used to be in the military. How do you see it from a storyline perspective?
Great question for a screenwriter, but a bad question for rapid fire. I'm going to try to be fast. So I've been doing a lot of Bonnie and Clyde research this year because I'm fast. I've always kind of paid attention to that story, found it interesting, but I really did a deep dive, and I'm working on something for my channel on that. I find it fascinating that Bonnie and Clyde, if you look into it a little bit, they really are, in real life, the transition from Red Dead Redemption's world to the Grand Theft Auto world. In a kind of fascinating way. In real life, they are the original Grand Theft Auto protagonists. They're the first public criminals. They've got machine guns. They're killing cops. They're robbing banks. They're stealing cars. They're doing everything that we do in GTA. And so I think leaning on, but not fully embracing the Bonnie and Clyde story is the way to go. I think there's a lot of evidence of that, and I think it's interesting, and I think you don't miss a lot of great opportunities leaning on it. Where it gets different is where I think they have room to surprise us, because people will be expecting certain elements of that story.
And on the note of the Bonnie and Clyde research that you've been doing, do you feel that Jason and Lucia are surviving to the end?
I'm going to shift now from what I think is likely to what I want as a fan. I heard that this is my idea mixed a little bit with another creator named McTannen, who hosts MCT 104.5. I like the idea that you get to the end and you do have to make a choice. And I think that they've done that many times. And I think they'll probably have an element of that. What I think they could do, and again, I'm shifting into what I want here. Let us make a lot of choices throughout the story that we don't realize hold the gravity that they do. I don't want to see the honor meter move back and forward or trust meter or whatever. Don't tell me, but let me make a bunch of choices. At the end of the game, kill one of these main characters, only one of them, and have it be based on the choices I've made up to that point, and I can't go back one save file and change it. If I want to get a different outcome, I have to replay the whole game with a different perspective. Because that replay value, first of all, is astronomical. People will be upset that they can't immediately go back and experience the other ending. I get that. You've got plenty of time. It's been 12 years. Replay the fucking game. Sorry. I know you guys don't swear a lot on that.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. You're fine.
But just go back to it, because I think what they have an opportunity to do here is explore this romantic relationship, which we've never taken seriously, ever in a Rockstar game. Every romantic relationship has always been a throwaway thing or a setup or a broken marriage or a relationship that ended years ago. They have a chance to actually have players get into the minutia of making choices in a romantic relationship. And that's fascinating to me in a Rockstar game. So let's see where that takes us, and let's have our choices hold weight to the point that when it finally pays off, we're like, oh, I didn't want her to die. I didn't want him to die. Oh no, now I'm stuck playing as this character. Well, you're going to have to start over.
Yeah, absolutely. And from a replayability point of view, the fun in that then becomes, where is the line? What choice did I make to tip this over the edge to get this person killed? Or is there a way I can make choices where they both survive? And what are those choices?
It'll take months. It'll take months for the YouTube video to show up that's like, here's exactly how to keep Lucia alive. And that's why I'm saying, don't show us.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the honor meter, the trust meter. I don't want to see a meter. Just, hey, what should we do? Left or right?
I love it. I'm on board. It's going to be one of the new hills that I climb up every time we're talking about what's going to happen in the game.
Let's go.
I'm coming back down.
Hi. Hey there.
You know, that interview booth gets further and further away every time we do it.
It really does.
Okay, good.
No, there's no follow up.
There's no follow up to that.
It really does. Can I just say quickly? Holy wow, that was a good call. Like, I was deep in reverie listening to that, and to the point where we could do a whole separate show talking about the things you just talked about in that. And I know we'll skirt over some of them, but respect to you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Vinewood Public Radio. I don't think that's your real name.
His name is Rob.
Rob, that's
I hope he didn't want me to censor that. But
no. We can't. We're live. Rob, that was a great call. Let's chat again. That was super good. Like, there's so much to noodle into there. I thought it was great.
Yeah, we will go over some of it. Great segue into me saying all of the interviews that we've done so far. How am I gonna not lift the curtain on this? All of the interviews we've done so far, I will do again, and they might end up being longer and then put into a future episode of GTA 6 o'clock down the line.
Oh, there we go then.
So you might get a couple of individual episodes with all of these people a bit further on.
Nice.
Speaking of being live, Yanis is in the chat, part of the mapping project. Just wanted to say, love your work. We would also love you to have you on an episode. We would love to have you on an episode.
We would.
So please get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us via email at GTAVIOclock or on Twitter, GTAVOclock. There's also a newsletter, but you can't get in touch with us on that, so we'll just do that at the end. You've already plugged it once this episode. We'll do it at the end.
You can't plug it enough, is what I always
Sign
say.
up to the newsletter, gamesradar.com/newsletter. Click on the GTA 6 o'clock one. Loads of people in the chat during that as well suggesting their songs for what may end up on a GTA 6 radio station. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Once again, in case people don't think we are live, Rob J, we've already mentioned you. Lil Froggy, hello to you. OG Whiplash. Vine Republic Access in the chat. Thank you very much. Nice to see you here. Thanks for getting involved with us one more time. Blind Fury, hi. Keep going. Marlboro 14. Wait, Dan writes a newsletter. Yes, it's a GTA 6 o'clock newsletter. You can sign up again at gamesradar.com/newsletter.
This is why you mention it. It's I will say it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no further comments, Your Honour.
No. One thing we will talk about during from Rob's interview then, Pitbull, modern day artist.
Well, yeah, look, there's a lot to say. Pitbull. I mean, how do you just talk about Pitbull? He's ridiculous, isn't he? Sorry if you're listening, Pitbull.
Or you're a Pitbull fan.
Yeah, or you're a Pitbull fan. It did make me think, as they were talking about Pitbull, and we had the previous question about the World Cup. Pitbull is like Mr. World Cup.
Mr. Worldwide.
So, like, he's done songs for FIFA and the World Cup. So there is, like, some mad alternate universe where Pitbull does a GTA-related song at the World Cup.
Okay.
That would be probably terrible. So, like, please discard that idea. But it did get me thinking about the intersection of Miami, emblemic artist, World Cup. He ticks all of those boxes. I still don't think the answer is yes.
A lot of you in the comments, as I say, are putting your music choices in there. Jason and Lucia are, like as we said, mid-20s. What are mid-20-year-old people listening to at the moment? Like, what is, a modern-day artist? I can't answer that because I'm not mid-20s. I'm not sure if you are or not, so I'm going to say no. But there is a thread on Reddit about it from about a month ago of people just asking, what are you listening to? There's a lot of people on here who I have semi-heard of, like Young Boy. There's some new gen rap. Someone said, I'm late 20s. I listen to grime, old dubstep, garage, jungle, and rock mostly. I'm 25. I listen to Eminem, D12, Kendrick, Lil Wayne, LL Cool J, some 50 Cent. That feels like that person's just into 90s to 2000s rap. Someone said they listened to 33 Prophet, West Side Gun. Any of these names familiar to you, Dan? Freddie Gibbs?
How much do you want me to tell a lie? I mean, no, not
Little
that
Yachty?
Yeah, no, I'm
Lil
aware.
Yachty?
Yeah, no, we've written about Little Yachty or Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty on the newsletter. I plugged it again.
Do you know there's a GTA 6 o'clock newsletter written by
It's not
Dan?
always about Lil Yachty. Because his name, or it was linked to something that was a rumour, etc., etc. The soundtrack is interesting because I think, and this is what I loved about the Vinewood Public Radio call, and it's interesting we're talking about ages as we all join together in this sort of communion in our love of GTA 6. There's a really wide age spectrum of people who are going to play this, and it's going to be, obviously, I'm a parent now. I've got a 12-year-old and a 17-year-old who could play this game. Definitely not letting the 12-year-old play it if there's any sections like that Trevor section in GTA 5. Mm-hmm. That was an absolute horror show. Even as a grown-up, I found that offensive. For my 17-year-old, he's going to be playing it. Like, his musical taste, and weirdly, people's taste in music has been changed by the way music is delivered now. Where, like, my 17-year-old generically likes genres because his experience of music is talking to an Alexa speaker, saying... And this made me laugh. I'm calling my son out, and if he ever listens to this, God bless him, he can curse me. He goes, I said, what music do you like? And he said, hip-hop. I really like lo-fi music. I was like, what? What's lo-fi music? Thinking like I'm some old geriatric dad. And he goes, lo-fi, L-O-F-I.
Yeah. Well, no one says lo-fi out loud, do they?
Well, they do.
I guess.
It's not called lo-fi, is it? Unless I've been dadded out there, because it's actually people call it lo-fi. It's lo-fi music, surely.
Maybe you have been dadded
I've been dadded.
No,
All
I
right.
think it's low. Well, we would call it lo-fi, but maybe that.
Maybe the kids call it
no.
lofi.
Oh,
So maybe
no.
I am in fact the fool. But the point was, like, he was weirdly generically into music, but not into artists.
But isn't like lofi just like sort of chill out, soft vibe?
Yeah, but there might be still like, even when I was really into music, say you were into ambient, you might be really into Fortet or Aphex Twin, right? You're into artists. I feel like people's engagement with that, it's not gone away, but it has changed the way people engage with music. The way, and this is what was really interesting. Environment Public Radio was saying is we don't know the media through which we engage with music yet. It's probably radio stations. But that's an interesting thing for Rockstar to resolve. I like when I started talking. I went so off topic. I'm sorry, but like talking about ages. Like there's going to be stations in there that are really on the pulse, and like they were absolutely right to say Circo Loco Records. Rockstar, of course, they're going to do that. Like you've talked about, there could well be live events. They could launch records in real life within the game potentially. They could do it at that club we've seen in the trailers. Loads of those things feel tick tick tick. Of course, you would do that. But then all the retro stuff. You're right. They're going to be, lo-fi opposite of hi-fi. Thank you, at EJ9. I haven't completely dadded out yet.
Well, unless you don't know how old that person is, they might just be on the same wavelength as you.
Did you see his handle?
See what I've said? Wavelength there. Like, do you remember Wavelength Radio? That's probably about the right reference for you, isn't it?
No, like I'm a wax cylinder man. If I was an RHF tuner in, so
good.
I just think they've got to really hit the bases with demographics. There's going to be some pretty far-reaching, like we've said, like even like Tom Petty, really old. That classic stuff mixed with the right cuts. Rockstar are the masters of getting the second best song from an album, or the song the cool people like, but not the obvious hit.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of their soundtracks. And I can't wait to hear what they've got lined up for us.
A lot of people watching live are just writing "read the chat" in capital letters. So enter the soundscape. Here I am reading the chat. Some suggestions for Dire Straits, Gangster Gibbs, Collection 1068 says listening to Ray. Good choice. Someone else says like, what are you guys listening to? That we have done a whole episode about songs that we would like to see in GTA 6 that contains music sections from each one. Maybe we'll do another one.
Yeah, we did.
Go watch that episode. That is all the things we would like to see in GTA 6. Obviously, Tom Petty, we know he's going to be in there because he's been on the soundtrack. Nathan says, producer Nathan here. Oh, it's gone. Oh, no. The chat is moving far too fast and I can't read
Producer
what
Nathan
it said.
here, DD and JJ, can we answer the unanswered calling questions in future episodes?
Oh, good point. Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can. That's a great thing to do because, we may be short of content for a while, so we can absolutely do that.
Yeah, good point. If you do want to submit a question for this show right now, it's probably your last opportunity to do so. There is a pinned link in the comments on YouTube. Click that. You'll speak to producer Nathan. He will sort everything out. If you don't get onto the show this week, we'll definitely queue them up and play them back in a future episode in the next couple of episodes because, as Dan says, we've got quite a lot of episodes to fill now. Another 49 or so to go. Quick, rapid-fire question then. When we were talking to Rob about seasonal music changes, are you on board with this? Like, let's say the calendar system is in the game and we go through spring, summer, autumn, winter. Gets to winter, all the radio stations are full of Christmas songs.
Oh, steal your supercar, get in. It's Christmas! Bring it on.
Good. Yeah, both of us on board with that. And I thought it was a very interesting chat about the choices that you could make throughout the game and the game not telling you about the impact that those things are going to have. And then you get to the end of the game and possibly one of the characters dies, but you then don't know which path you went down and which choices you made that actually impacted the final decision. And then you're having to go back and play through the game again and try and work out, all right, if I rob this bank and not this bank, and I tell this person that I can't do that job at this time, and then I go off and do this. It's the butterfly effect, and how far that could span across the game could be really interesting to have those choices in there, but not reveal how much of an impact it's having. I really like that idea.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's very difficult for a super mass market game to make those super polarizing choices. But GTA 4 made some pretty deep cut choices, I would say. So it's not beyond them. And I really chimed with everything Vinewood Public Radio Rob was saying about
Vinewood Public Access. We should probably say that.
Oh my God, Vinewood Public Access. Sorry, this is we're live and I'm an idiot. So, the game not pulling its punches and being mature and being actually adult and like hitting everyone with the same force of satire, having branches that are complex and create talking points. GTA can do that because ultimately, the thing with GTA is like the story is a massive part of it, but people continue to play and you can get all that stupid fun from it when it's gone. Like Rockstar have this is something that Dan Houser talked about even when he was on Sunday Brunch last week, where he's talking about where does the video game industry go. And he was saying, well, either goes down a really commercial route or it tries to say something interesting. And then what he backhanded compliments himself on is that's what we tried to do. And let's hope Rockstar stay the course. They can do it. They've got the power to say something interesting.
I will leave you with this comment from Thomas Blade. Refueling while listening to Christmas songs. Big love heart. There we go. Confirmed. We have one more interview for you guys in a second. But first, we have a call-in from Sam. So let's have a listen to that. Maybe not Hauser.
My name's Sam. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to talk on the show. I've been watching you guys since probably episode 40 of GTA 6 o'clock. I've been a huge fan. It's really helped keep my Mondays sane and normal. So that's been good. But I had a question. So it's funny, we've had a lot of time to overthink everything because of how long this game's been in development. Yes, it's a Bonnie and Clyde story. What are the odds that they give you the ability to mess up the relationship? And I know that they can't do that in concept because they're supposed to be together. Do you think they would go that far to simulate the relationship to a point where you're still doing missions together, you're still spending the vast majority of the game together, but you're not actually a couple and you're angry at each other? How deep are they going to go, do you think, into this relationship dynamic? Or is it just more of a gimmick?
Now, I can understand why people might think that this isn't live because everything we've just talked about perfectly sets up that question.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Thank you, Fate.
Yeah, we honestly didn't know that was what they're going to come in. It's just come in. We listened to it live. But yeah, making choices that affect the relationship in the game. I can see there being definite moments throughout the story where Jason and Sia aren't getting on and they have differing opinions about what they should and shouldn't do, probably have some arguments. Does that mean that one of them becomes inaccessible for some parts of the game because you've really annoyed them? Don't know how that works from a gameplay mechanic, but just their relationship is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I've said this on the show repeatedly, that line, trust, to me, that's the giveaway, that's the tell, that's the heart of the game. It's clearly about the two of them and their duality. Now, are we just glimpsing through the trailers effectively the honeymoon period? We could be so hot together, we're in the club, we've done something, it's great, everything's great, we're together forever, me and you, let's go all the way, Bonnie and Clyde. Is that the full story? And is it that the game dramatically changes from that to the point where they're almost like enemies who are forced together? Or is it forced apart, then come back together again? All of these are tropes of fiction. And probably, that would work really well as an arc. They're really tight, they split apart, they hate each other. A bigger threat brings them back together. And then maybe talking about the branching morality path, it is a case of, well, we've got to work together. Do I really trust you? Make choices based on how much do you trust or believe in someone. That's a really interesting thing to explore. Complicated, but really interesting.
Great stuff. Thank you for the question. Okay, let's throw it over to, I got to go back in the phone booth. Let's throw it over to Rockstar Intel to talk a little bit about what might be coming in GTA Online. I hope, if they answer my questions. I'll go and ask them the first question. You make sure that happens.
Let's wait and see.
Yes, now I'm joined by Kyle and Aaron from Rockstar Intel. Guys, welcome to episode 100 of GTA 6 o'clock. Thank you for being with us.
It's good. Hello, everybody. And thank you for having us, yeah. Thank you very much for inviting us both.
No worries. Now, one of the things you guys have been covering recently is the 5M acquisition and what that might mean for GTA Online. I'd love to get both your thoughts on what it could mean when we're thinking about GTA 6.
So I would say that to start off with, I think people need to temper expectations. I think it's going to be something that we're going to see long into the future of the next GTA Online. Like they've got 10 plus years potentially to do what they want to do. I don't think Rockstar's in any rush. I do think we will get to the point where there will be sort of official roleplay aspects within GTA Online to an extent. That's because the console audience is so much bigger than the PC audience. You know, we can see the sales data. The PlayStation version especially dwarfs the PC version. A lot of people seem to think the PC version's much bigger than it is. It isn't. It's big because of RP in that corner, but in the grand scheme of things, the PlayStation is just so much bigger. So we've said Strauss say they want to monetize the RP side of things. I think it will come, but I don't think it's going to be sort of day and date with the next iteration of GTA Online.
Yeah, I think I agree with Aaron there. Yeah, I don't think 5M, when it comes to GTA 6 Online on console, it will be anything you would expect. We've already got on PC now. I think it's going to be a lot more basic. It'll be very good, but I think it'll be a lot more basic than what we've got right now on PC. I think they'll just take the main points of it and then implement it slowly but surely.
It's almost like you read my mind, because the next thing I wanted to talk about was how big you think GTA RP will be for GTA 6.
I think it'll be very big on Twitch. Like, it's already very big on Twitch, but I think the console side of people, because everyone can stream nowadays, like, I think the Twitch side of it will make it seem a lot bigger than it will be. Because, yeah, the console side, obviously, they can only implement so much on a console because of the limitations. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be good, but I think it'll be very basic.
It's also a completely different audience. Like, from what I've gathered, a lot of the people that watch GTA RP don't play GTA. They are watching for the entertainers, the personalities. They aren't watching for the game. They don't go out and buy GTA. They aren't playing GTA Online, whether it be the vanilla version or the RP version. So I think people are going to be a bit surprised. It's going to be huge on Twitch for sure. But again, I think that's where it's going to stay, and you won't get the average GTA Online player wanting to do roleplay. If they were interested in that, they'd have sought out GTA RP on PC already. You know, they want to play what they're playing right now, which is the most popular version of GTA Online, the vanilla version that Rockstar puts out.
Yeah, like me, I've been playing GTA Online since 2013, so 12 years. I've never played roleplay, but I watch so much of it. Like, playing the roleplay side does not interest me in the slightest, because I don't think I've got the patience to be that serious. So, yeah, I think the console side, I think a lot of console players enjoy watching it, but I don't think they'll enjoy playing it, especially to like how complex it is now on PC.
And this is a great segue into how you think Rockstar might move players from the current version of GTA Online into what we anticipate being the new one.
I feel like people think GTA Online is just getting shut down as soon as GTA 6 is out, because we always say, oh, it's the last Christmas in GTA Online. It's like we all just think GTA Online is getting shut down straight away. But obviously it's not. I don't know, I just think there's that much hype around GTA 6. They don't need to move people to GTA 6 Online. I just think everyone will do it anyway. Because I think everyone's just sick of GTA Online now, because it's been, 12 years? So I think people will just move over, like, I don't think we would have to really do much.
Yeah, I think we will be starting from scratch. There will be some incentive to people that have played GTA 5 Online, but I just can't imagine with the 12 years of content and data how they're going to manage bringing all of that over. It feels like it sort of needs a refresh, because they didn't plan for this decade plus of stuff that's happened. They didn't plan for that in 2011, 2012. So I think starting over is probably the best idea with some incentive for returning players.
But we do envision a world where the current version of GTA Online is running alongside whatever GTA 6 is online. You know, if it's GTA Online Vice City or whatever they end up calling it. But that's what we think is going to happen. They'll just have both for a while, and eventually the old one will just stop existing.
Something I have noticed is from like our demographics, we have a lot of countries that have only started getting consoles and GTA 5 specifically in the last sort of 2 to 5, 6 years, because how expensive it is to get to import consoles in those countries such as India and Brazil, places like that. Those countries aren't going to be able to get a current gen system and play GTA 6 immediately.
Yeah, I also think as well, like, GTA 4 multiplayer is still live now. And that came out 2008, whenever. So, GTA Online will still be live. I think it'll still be going in another 10 years' time. And I don't think they'll be updating it. Like, I think they'll still get the Christmas DLC every year, the Easter DLC, the Independence Day DLC, the same repetitive ones every year. But I think in maybe 2 years' time, there won't be any new updates, but I think they'll still support it to a way where they'll just keep the servers live.
So then what would your opinion be on GTA 6 Online version 2, let's call it, launching at the same time, day and date as GTA 6?
I'm a massive single-player person, so I'm a massive supporter of keeping multiplayer shut for a few weeks, because the amount of time, money, and ideas the devs have done for single-player, I think everybody should enjoy that for a few weeks, because obviously they spend a lot more time doing that than they will creating multiplayer. And I've always been a single-player person over multiplayer, so I just remember GTA Online was a mess back in the day. Yeah, I don't think Online should come out day one, because I think 2 weeks to a month is perfectly fine. Like, and then release it after 2 weeks to a month, and then let people enjoy it. Then everybody's enjoyed single player, and obviously there's only so many times you can play single player before you get a bit bored. So,
yeah, I totally agree. With each of those points, I think for me, a month or even a little bit longer if they need more time, because who knows what the state of the game's going to be in. You know, we could be. I hope not, but there's a reason why it's been delayed, right? So I hope that it launches well, but who knows? Launching, if there was major performance issues, launching with GTA Online, it'd be a disaster.
All right, great to have you both on the show. Thank you very much for being part of episode 100. Always great to chat to you guys. I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys. Oh, hi, Dan. I'm back from my phone call with Rockstar Intel. No, I'm here now. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry, you're back. You were so far away. It was
I
almost
know.
like you left before the call had finished, which couldn't make sense.
No. I'd said bye, and then they were finishing up, and now
Sorry.
I'm back here.
Sorry.
Back in the room. So that was a really interesting chat about the future of GTA Online. Starting over in GTA 6 seems to be the vibe that we're getting from the Rockstar Intel guys. Do you think that's likely?
I think I was nodding along to a lot of that. I do agree that 5 Online will continue for, they'd said up to 10 years. That did make me think, blimey, will GTA 5 Online really be playable 10 years from now? Well, like you said, GTA 4 is still playable. So, maybe history stands that up. And he's absolutely right to say that around the world, it's a global game. Not every country has access to the same consoles. It's just a numbers game. So they will keep 5 running. Like, absolutely. I also definitely agreed with this idea of, like, will it be GTA Online from day one with GTA 6?
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that this is what I think will happen, but what I would like to happen, I agree, is a little grace period where I can just play the single player game without that horrific anxiety of
You're
I should
missing
be
out.
online.
Yeah.
Or and this is something I've had recently I've been looking forward to the skate game EA have released, right, for about 10 years. And what really wound me up about it is I was only just starting to play it and enjoy it, and then my social feed was inundated with like people going like, "I've dropped in off the moon and I'm flying through a church," and it just sort of cheapens the experience. For me, cheapened the experience. So I was like, "Oh right, like there's some guys like basically breaking the game," and I'm seeing that even before I've taken the baby steps or like found my way into the world. And I think that would probably be weird for GTA 6 to have people like breaking the online game at the same time as you're trying to get deep into what we've discussed might be quite a complex and interesting single player story. You know, all things are available, but for me, that I'd give it some grace period.
I was actually really pleased with the gap between having the 2-week period of like going, you just play single player now for 2 weeks, you discuss that, you all digest it, and then online is open 2 weeks after that. I think like Kyle and Aaron were right in that it could even be longer. Like, I don't mind if it's a month.
No,
later,
I'm down with a month
or 2 months.
So that would take it November 19th. It would be a Christmas present.
A Christmas present.
A Christmas opening of that would actually be really fun.
That would be very unfun for the developers.
Oh, a nightmare! But a dynamic Christmas event.
Oh, right. Dynamic
GTA
event
Online.
for the first
so like
thing.
you enter GTA Online at Christmas.
Yeah,
that would be pretty wild.
Sure, yeah. And then the servers collapse and everyone has to work on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it'd be an absolute living nightmare. And I'm sure having just fought like hell to get that game out or whatever happens, they'll be really excited about working all over that festive period.
You've got 1 month and then we're doing the biggest online activation
Then we're doing
ever.
the Christmas light switch on in GTA Online.
And it's a live event where you all get to do a thing.
Yeah,
I mean...
And it never stops forever.
Let's see. I mean, but realistically, it could be 2027... GTA Online opens, January 5th or something like that.
It's not impossible, like you say, because whilst there is a, we are the evil marketing baron, I would go, a Christmas switch on is brilliant. The real pushback is, can we not just have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Please. And let everyone play the single player through. There's probably plenty of game there. Most GTA games are like 50, 70 hours long. Chew your way through that, get yourself hyped for GTA Online. That would be a nice thing, right? I think a nice thing to be excited about in the new year.
And let's be honest, no matter how much polish has been applied to the game by that point, they might need some of that team to fix some of the bugs that players have found in those first few launch weeks and go, we actually need people on standby to, they won't be major issues, we hope, but there will be some things where they're like, oh, they've got in a car and they were carrying a skateboard and then they got out and listened to this one particular song and fell through the map. Someone has to fix that. So they're going to need people on hand to do that. Doing an online launch at the same time isn't impossible. Other games do it, other studios do it, but for something like GTA, you just want it to work and it not fall over as soon as it gets turned on. So let's give it a little grace period. Okay, just about to wrap up, but we have one more question or statement from the chat that has been thrown in now. Marber14 says, you're going to love this, has DD finished Red Dead Redemption 2 yet?
My answer is, I'm waiting for that remake everyone keeps wishing for.
Oh, and then you're going to start again?
And then I'll start again. And like I always do, get 5 hours in and somehow get bored when I've done my 3rd round out of the camp.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Because you've done that bit like 3 times.
Yeah, I've done that bit 3 times. As a result, that bit is so boring now.
Yeah.
Everyone whose opinion I trust says that game is amazing, and I've got to see it through to the end. I mean,
you've definitely got to get past the first 5 hours. Maybe you can let your 17-year-old play that first 5 hours, because that's okay.
Maybe.
And then go, you can't play the rest of it yet. I've got to vet it first.
Seeing the games he plays, I don't know how he'll feel about like an hour of listless horse riding through the snow.
No. Well, maybe we'll find out on a future episode of GTA 6 o'clock. We're going to wrap this up, guys, because we are giving you a bumper episode, 1 hour and 45 minutes, I think it is.
Wow.
But hey, it's episode 100 and it's live, so that's where we're at. If we haven't managed to get to your question on the show today, don't worry, we have saved them all. We will put them in a future episode that is coming up down the line. We also, as I said, some of those interviews are extended cuts that we have. We will be able to put them out on the channel as well in future episodes. So we've actually got quite a lot of content coming up. Go us. You can get in touch with us via email at gtavoclock@gmail.com, on X at gtavoclock, and you can sign up for the newsletter, gamesradar.com/newsletters. Click on the GTA 6 button, section, whatever it is. if you're listening to this on demand, please write comments below. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Did you like the format? Do you like the live thing? Maybe we'll put another one in at some point if everybody likes it. Thank you to everyone who stuck with us for the last hour 45, and all of you in the chat putting hearts saying thank you. Enter Soundscape, GTA G33K, congratulations on 100. Tordari Man, it's going quite fast. Red Misfit, thank you all for jumping in. Appreciate you all. You can follow us on X, like I said, and if you're listening or watching on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button and the like button. That would be really great. For this episode, that is the end of this live one, but don't worry, because we'll be back next week for another episode of GTA 6 o'clock.